Namo tassa bhagavato arahato samma sambuddhassa. Namo tassa bhagavato arahato samma sambuddhassa. Namo tassa bhagavato arahato samma sambuddhassa. Thiruvan Saranai. Good evening, Venerable Mahāsangha, Sires, and brothers and sisters in the Dhamma. Today we will be talking on the SanidassanaTika, the visible triplet. Now this is the last or the 22nd triplet among the Tika, the table of contents, triplets section. And next we will be moving on to the couplets, the Dukkhamattika, starting from our next lesson. We will first look at the three terms of the SanidassanaTika, the visible triplet. Sanidassanasappaṭighā dhammā, states that are visible and with impingement. Anidassanaappaṭighā dhammā, states that are not visible but with impingement. Anidassanaappaṭighā dhammā, states that are not visible and without impingement. We'll first look at the first term. Sanidassanasappaṭighā dhammā, states that are visible and with impingement. So first, to understand this, we need to split the word Sanidassanasappaṭighā into two. Sanidassana means visible and Sappaṭighā means with impingement. So what does it mean to have impingement or Sappaṭighā? So here we will look at the Sappaṭighā dhammā, states with impingement. So this word Sappaṭighā means the coming into contact of the pasada rūpa, the sensitive material phenomena, with the objective material phenomena, gochara rūpa. So this coming into contact is what is meant by impingement or Sappaṭighā. So what are the Sappaṭighā dhammā, states with impingement? So here on the left, we have the sensitive material phenomena, the pasada rūpa, and on the right, we have the objective material phenomena, the gochara rūpa. So the states, these are the states that have impingement. So for example, if you take the chakku pasada rūpa, the eye sensitivity, it needs to come into contact with the visible form, the varna rūpa, in order for us to see. So likewise, saddo or sound will come into contact with the sota pasada rūpa, the ear sensitivity. Gandho, smell, will come into contact with Gana pasada rūpa, nose sensitivity. Raso, taste, will come into contact with Jivha pasada rūpa, tongue sensitivity. And finally, tangibility, Pottabba. So here we have the three Patavi, Tejo, Vayu, earth, fire and wind elements. These will come into contact with Kaya pasada rūpa, body sensitivity. So all of these that we have mentioned here are called Sappaṭighā dhammā, states with impingement. Now we come back to the first term, Sanidassanasappaṭighā dhammā, states that are visible and with impingement. Now on the previous slide, we learned what Sappaṭighā dhammā are, the states with impingement. So on the previous slide, we mentioned that chakku pasada rūpa and varna rūpa, both of these are classified under Sappaṭighā dhammā, states with impingement. Then, what is Sanidassana? Sanidassana means visible. Out of all those dhammas, only the varna rūpa, the visible form, is Sanidassana. Therefore, when we take the term Sanidassanasappaṭighā, the analytical states that are classified under this term needs to be both visible as well as with impingement. So here we get only the one rupa that qualifies under this term. Let's look at the Nikkepa Khanda, the summary section description. Kathame Dhamma Sanidassanasappaṭighā, which are the states that are visible and with impingement. Rupāyatana, visible form base. Ime Dhamma Sanidassanasappaṭighā. These are the states that are visible and with impingement. Now let's look at the Atthasālinī, the commentary chapter description. So here again there is absolutely no difference between the two descriptions because it's very clear. There is nothing to be expounded further. The answer is Rupāyatana, visible form base. So they have extracted the same description and stated it here under the commentary chapter. So the analytical states classified under Sanidassanasappaṭighā Dhamma, states that are visible and with impingement, is 1 no, visible form. We now move on to the second term, Anidassanasappaṭighā Dhamma, states that are not visible but with impingement. Now again, to understand this, we need to split the word Anidassanasappaṭighā into two. Anidassana means not visible. Sappaṭighā is with impingement. Now we go back to the Sappaṭighā Dhamma, states with impingement. So on the left we have the Pasada Rupam, the 5 sensitive material phenomena, and on the right we have the Gochara Rupam, objective material phenomena. Now all of these are states with impingement, Sappaṭighā. Among these, visible form, Varna Rupa, we mentioned, it is not only Sappaṭighā, it is also visible. So, what are Anidassanasappaṭighā Dhamma? States that are not visible but with impingement. We need to remove visible form from this list, and the remaining Dhammas are classified under this term. We'll now look at the Nikkepa Khanda, the summary description. Kathame Dhamma Anidassanasappaṭighā, which are the states that are not visible but with impingement. Cakkāyatana, Sotāyatana, Gānāyatana, Jivhāyatana, Kāyāyatana. The bases of eye, ear, nose, tongue and body. Saddhayatana, Gandhayatana, Rasayatana, Pottabbayatana. The bases of sound, smell, taste and tangible. So note here, the Rupayatana was not mentioned. That is because it was classified under the first term. Ime Dhamma Anidassanasappaṭighā. These are the states that are not visible but with impingement. Now let's look at the Atthasālinī, the commentary chapter description. Kathame Dhamma Anidassanasappaṭighā, which are the states that are not visible but with impingement. Cakkāyatanam, Heyalam, Pottabbayatana. In other words, the 9 material bases. Ime Dhamma Anidassanasappaṭighā. These are the states that are not visible but with impingement. So, in summary, the analytical states that are classified under Anidassanasappaṭighā Dhamma, states that are not visible but with impingement, are the Chakku, Sota, Gana, Jivha, Kaya, Pasada, Rupa, the eye, ear, nose, tongue and body sensitivities, and Saddo, sound, Gandho, smell, Raso, taste, Patavi, Tejo, Vayu, earth, fire and wind elements. We now come to the final term, Anidassanaappaṭighā Dhamma, states that are not visible and without impingement. So again, to get the meaning, we split the first word Anidassanaappaṭighā into two. Anidassana means not visible. Appaṭighā means without impingement. Let's look at the Nikkepa Khandang summary description. Kathame Dhamma Anidassanaappaṭighā. Which are the states that are not visible and without impingement? Vedanakkhando, Saññakkhando, Saṅkhārakkhando, Viññānakkkhando. In other words, the four aggregates. Yancha rūpaṃ Anidassanam Appaṭighāṃ dhammāyatana pariyāpannaṃ. That material form, moreover, which being invisible and without impingement is yet included in the mental object base. Asaṅkataca dhātu and the unconditioned element. Ime dhammā Anidassanaappaṭighā. These are the states that are not visible and without impingement. So here we are talking about the four aggregates, excluding the Rūpakkhandha. So Vedana, Sañña, Saṅkhāra and Viññāna, these are all the four mental aggregates. However, there are certain Rūpa that are classified under this term. So it is mentioned under the third paragraph, Yancha Rūpaṃ Anidassana. So what is meant here are the 16 Sukuma Rūpa, the subtle matter, which are classified under the Dhammayatana. And also we get the unconditioned element, the Asaṅkataca dhātu, that is Nibbāna. So all of these Dhammas are Anidassanaappaṭighā Dhamma. And now the Atthakatha Khanda, the commentary chapter description. Kathame Dhamma Anidassanaappaṭighā. Which are the states that are not visible and without impingement? Chatusu bhumisu kusalaṃ. Wholesome of the four planes of existence. Akusalaṃ, unwholesome. Chatusu bhumisu vipāko. Resultants of the four planes of existence. Tisu bhumisu kiriya vyakataṃ. Functionals of the three planes of existence. So here, these four, the kusala, akusala, vipaka, kriya. These include all the chitta and chetasika dhamma. Yancha rūpaṃ anidassanam appaṭighāṃ dhammāyatana pariyāpannaṃ. That material form, moreover, which being invisible and without impingement, is yet included in the mental object base. So here they are referring to the 16 Sukuma Rūpa, the subtle matter. Nibbānanca, and the final state of deliverance. Ime Dhamma Anidassanaappaṭighā. These are the states that are not visible and without impingement. So in summary, the analytical states that are classified under Anidassanaappaṭighā Dhamma, states that are not visible and without impingement. The 21 kusala, wholesome consciousness, 12 akusala, unwholesome consciousness, 36 vipaka, resultants, 20 kriya, functionals, 52 chetasika, mental factors, 16 sukuma rūpa, subtle matter, and nibbāna, final state of deliverance. Now we come to the exercise. Categorize the analytical states of SanidassanaTika, visible triplet, according to Khandha, Ayatana, Dhatu, and Arya Satcha. So we'll first look at Sanidassanasappaṭighā Dhamma, states that are visible and with impingement. So here we get only one no visible form. So this is classified under one aggregate, one Khandha, which is Rūpakkhandha, matter aggregate. One Ayatana, Rūpayatana, visible form base. One Dhatu, Rūpa Dhatu, the visible form element. and one Arya Satya, which is Dukkha Satya. Now we come to the second term, Anidassanasappaṭighā Dhammā, states that are not visible but with impingement. So here we get, out of the 12 Olarika Rupa, we get 11 excluding Rupa, excluding Vana Rupa. So here we have Chakku Sota Gana Jivha Kaya Prasada Rupa, the eye, ear, nose, tongue, body sensitivities, and Saddha, Gandha, Rasa, and Pottabha. So all of these dhammas are classified under one khandho, aggregates, 9 ayatana, 9 dhatu, and 1 Arya Satya. So the 11 Odarika Rupa, the gross matter, excluding Vanu, visible form, are classified under one khandho, Rupa khandho, matter aggregate. They are classified under 9 ayatana. So starting from Chakku until Kayayatana, we get the 5 Prasada Rupa being classified. And then from Saddhayatana until Pottabhayatana, we get 6 elements being classified under these. So what is missing here is Rupayatana, which was classified under the first term. So the dhatu are also similar. We get 9 dhatu. And we get 1 Arya Satya. All 11 Odarika Rupa, excluding Vanu, are classified under Dukkha Satya. Now we come to the final term, Anidassanaappaṭighā Dhammā. States that are not visible and without impingement. So here we get the 21 Kusala, 12 Akusala, 36 Vipaka, 20 Kriya, 52 Chetasika, 16 Sukuma Rupa, and Nibbana. Now these dhammas are classified under 5 khandha, 2 ayatana, 8 dhatu, and all 4 Arya Satya. We get 5 khandha. The 16 Sukuma Rupa, subtle matter, are classified under Rupa khandho. Vedana Chetasika is classified under Vedana khandho. Sanya Chetasika is Sanya khandho. And the remaining 50 Chetasika falls under Sankara khandho. And all 89 consciousness are classified under Vijnana khandho. Now note here, we need to mention about Nibbana, that it is outside the scope of the aggregates. These dhammas are classified under 2 ayatana. The 89 consciousness is classified under Manayatana. The 52 Chetasika, 16 Sukuma Rupa, and Nibbana is classified under Dhammayatana. We get 8 dhatu. So here we get the Sapta Vijnana dhatu, the 7 consciousness elements, and Dhamma dhatu. So from Chakku Vijnana until Kaya Vijnana dhatu, we get the 10 eye, ear, nose, tongue, and body consciousness. Under Mano dhatu, we get 3 consciousness. Under Mano Vijnana dhatu, we get the remaining 76 consciousness. And finally, the 52 Chetasika, 16 Sukuma Rupa, and Nibbana is classified under Dhamma dhatu. We get 4 Arya Satya. The 81 mundane consciousness, the 51 Chetasika excluding Lobha, 16 Sukuma Rupa. These are Dukkha Satya. Lobha Chetasika is Samudaya Satya. Nibbana is Nirodha Satya. The 8 or 7 constituents of the path, these are Magga Satya. And the 4 Magga Chitta, the 28 remaining Chetasika, the 4 Palachitta and 36 Chetasika. These dhammas are outside the scope of the noble truths. With that, we come to the end of our talk today. So we have completed 22 Tika, and next we will be starting on the Dukkha. So now it's time for any questions. If you have any questions, you can ask them now.
Maybe Doctor can give a very brief introduction about what to expect for the Dukkha.
Oh, yes, okay. Yes, so under the Dukkha, we'll be talking about basically 100 couplets. So we'll be starting with Hetu Gotchaka. Now, unlike the Tika, the Dukkha are classified into clusters, into groups. So under the Hetu Gotchaka, now Hetu refers to roots. And so we have 6 different couplets within that collection or that cluster of Dukkha. So we will be talking about, we will first introduce, we'll give a definition of the initial term. For example, if we take the Hetu Dukkha, we get Hetu Dhamma and Na Hetu Dhamma. So we will introduce what are Hetu and then what are not Hetu, what are roots and what are not roots. Then the subsequent couplets will be based on that initial definition that we gave. So it is basically an analysis of the analytical states in such a way that we will basically be able to classify them in various different ways. So on one hand, our minds will become much more sharper. And on the other hand, we will get a comprehensive understanding about these analytical states and what they really are. So that's basically about the Hetu Gotchaka. So later we get the Chulantara Dukkha, and then likewise we get several clusters, and within each cluster there are a number of couplets or Dukkha that are classified under them. So how we are going to do it is we are trying to, hopefully we'll be able to cover at least, I'm trying to cover the whole Gotchaka within 1 or 2 lessons. And that way we should be able to finish all of the couplets soon. Yes, it seems like Feni has a question.
Hi, good evening, teacher.
Good
I would
evening.
like, I hope you are good in good condition.
Yes, I am.
Okay. I would like to ask about the rupa here. So that we have the Nibbana Rupa 18. It was classified under the Olarika and Sukuma. So what I have in mind is that the rupa is actually like cluster of the Aviniboga, and so within the Aviniboga is the 4 characteristic of the 4 Mahabhuta within each of the rupa itself. So I mean, if it's the visible, that it must have the vana. So what I have in mind is that the classification under this Tika is by the characteristic of the vana itself, and the others is because it doesn't have the characteristic of the vana. So is my logic is correct, teacher? So thank you.
Okay, so let's see if I have got your question. So in this Matika, what we are talking about is mainly 2 things. One is whether or not a certain Dhamma is visible or not. So thereby we take the word Sanidassana and Anidassana. Sanidassana meaning visible, Anidassana meaning not visible. The other word that we are concerned, the other component that we are talking about is whether it is with impingement or without impingement, whether it's Sappaṭighā or Appaṭighā. So combining these two words, we have formed three separate terms. So what we need to understand first is what are the dhammas that have impingement. So that means what are the Sappaṭighā Dhamma? So Sappaṭighā means basically you have a certain sensed organ or a sense door, and there has to be an object that will come into contact with this sense door. So we have the 5 prasada rupa on one side, those are the sense doors, and the gochara rupa on the other side. But now here you mentioned about the Mahabhuta Rupa, the Patavi, Apo, Tejo, Vayo. Now, among these, Apo is not something that we can perceive through the sense organs. It is only Patavi, Tejo, and Vayo. It is true that they are the 4 main elements, the Mahabhuta, and the other elements are called Upadaya Rupa. They are supporting these 4 elements. And if you take the Suddhastaka comprises of Patavi, Apo, Tejo, Vayo, Vanna, Gandha, Rasa, Oja. These 8 are the dhammas that cannot be separated. They're always together. And together with these 8, you may have various other combinations where other rupa come and form kalapas together with these Suddhastaka. Now, within this Suddhastaka, Varna is there. So if we see something, it is because of that quality of visibility within that Varna Rupa that we are able to see it. So if there is a solid object, because of that Varna Rupa, we are able to see it. So again, if the object is very small, even though the Varna Rupa is there, we may not be able to perceive it because of the mere size of it. So the best example we can take is, there are certain things that we see through microscopes, like bacteria, amoeba, microscopic things. So it is not because there is no Varna Rupa, there is a Varna Rupa, but our eye faculty is not developed enough to see such small objects. However, every single thing in the universe that is formed of matter comprises of this Suddhastaka, and within that Varna Rupa is always there. So it will be visible, but depending on the eye faculty, whether we see it or not will vary. So next we come to the Sukuma Rupa. So the Sukuma Rupa are dhammas that do not come into contact with the sense organs. So we can't perceive them through the sense organs. So they are dhammas that need to be perceived through the mind itself, through the manodvara. So these dhammas, because they are not they're not connected with the sense organs, there's no impingement there. We call them Appaṭighā Dhamma. Okay, so have I made it clearer, or is there more that I need to explain, Feni?
Yeah, I would like to ask for further question because
Okay.
in my mind, in my understanding, that the impingement is connected with the Pasacetasika. So
Sorry, with what?
with the Pasacetasika, is it correct, teacher? Pasa, one of the 7 sabbacitas, sadharana citta, cetasika. Cetasika of contact.
Wait, you mean Passa Cetasika?
Yes. So this impingement, is it connected with that?
No. So the Phassa Cetasika is separate. So every single chitta is arises with the Phassa Cetasika together with the Phassa Chetasika, because it is one of the Sabba Chitta Sadharana Chetasika. It is a universal mental factor. Now that Phassa is separate from this impingement, because that Phassa is that contact means the contact between mental Dhamma. So the Chitta Chetasika, that contact. So the contact that we are talking here, or the impingement, is between Rupa. Is that clear?
Yeah. Actually, it's a bit confusing for me because of this. I mean, the classification. One is just by the Rupa, and then if it's just with the impingement, which is not the Phassa Cetasika, why it is all of the four other khandhas is included here in this I mean Anidassana and Appaṭighā.
Okay.
Yeah, it's kind of confusing for me. Yeah,
Yeah.
sorry. Yeah, thank you.
No, that is fine. That is fine.
Yeah.
Okay, so now what you need to understand here is that the contact or the impingement that we are talking about is an impingement between the sense organs and the Gochara Rupa, or the objective matter. So when you say Sanidassanasappaṭighā, it has, whatever the analytical state has to be visible, and also it has to be something that has this pasada rupa, gochara rupa impingement, the coming into contact with between these two. So there we get one rupa. The second term, it is Anidassanasappaṭighā. It is not visible, but with impingement. Again, we are talking about rupas. They're all Olarika rupa. But in the third term, now we are saying Anidassana. They are not visible. Appaṭighā. There is no impingement. What is this impingement that they are talking about? They are talking about this pasada rupa, gochara rupa connection. So we have already spoken about all the dhammas that come into contact through the sense organs and the Gochara Rupa. So those were the 12 Olarika Rupa. Everything else, that means the 89 Chitta, the 52 Chetasika, the 16 Sukuma Rupa, and Nibbana, all of these dhammas do not have this Rupa connection. They are dhammas. For example, if you need to perceive these dhammas, it has to be through the mind door. Now, for example, is it possible to see a kusala chitta or hear a kusala chitta? No. How do we know, or how do we perceive a kusala chitta? It is through the mind door. Can we perceive a mental factor, a chetasika, through the eye, ear, nose, tongue, or body? No. The only way to perceive a mental factor is through the mind door itself. And similarly, when it comes to the 16 Sukuma Rupa, again, we cannot see them, hear, taste, smell, or feel these. We have to understand them or perceive them through the mind door. And finally, Nibbana is also the same. So it is true there is a separate mental factor called Phassa. So that contact or Phassa Chetasika is the contact between, is not the contact that we are talking about in this triplet. So you have to, you shouldn't get confused with the Phassa Chetasika and this word Sappaṭighā. They are two completely different things. Is it less confusing now, Feni?
Yeah. I think I get what does it mean here. teacher. Yeah, I think I know what happened already. Yeah. Okay.
Okay.
Thank you for explaining, teacher. This is first time for me for learning Dhammasaṅgaṇī, and this is quite wow, a big thing for me. So thank you, teacher, for explaining a lot.
Thank you, Fanny.
Yeah.
Okay, with that, if there are no further questions, we can end our session today. You can email any questions that you have to this email address. Our next lesson will be on the 1st of February.
我们的下一堂课呢，将会在2月1号。
It is now time to share merits. I would like all of you to join me.
现在呢，老师邀请大家呢，跟着老师一起呢，做这个功德的回向分享。
Akhasattha ca Bhummattha Deva Naga Mahittika Punyantang Anumoditva Chiran Rakkantu Sasanam Chiran Rakkantu Desanam Chiran Rakkantu Mampara Idam Yajnanam Tu Sukhita Tayo Idam Yajnanam Tu Sukhita Puntunyatayo Idam Yajnanam Tu Sukhita Puntunyatayo Imina Punya Kamena Mame Bala Samagamu Satat Samagamu Hotu Yava Nibbana Bhakti. Sorry. Idam me punya asavakya vaham hotu. Idam me punya nibbana sappaṭighā hotu. Mama punya bhagam sabbasatanam bhajemi. Te sabbe me samam punya bhagam labantu. Buddha sasanam chirantittatu. Buddha sasanam chirantittatu. Buddha sasanam chirantittatu. Sadhu, sadhu, sadhu.
Thank you, Doctor.
Thank you very much, Doctor. Sadhu, sadhu, sadhu.
Thank you, teacher. Good night, everyone.
Good night, everyone.